look at this, Tim. We've got the ultimate what would it be, EV mobility Blackpool tram.
Well, it's not just by accident we happened to get the tram with us as well, mate. So perfect time. So electric vehicles are not new, and in fact, if you look at it, you know, people are looking at, when people say, okay, what's going to happen to trucks? We look at this fact that you've got battery, you've got hydrogen fuel cell, and then we've also got catenary, an electric road system, which people are also saying is a good thing, which is basically putting these wires up on the motorway system. Right, come on, Matt. Let the cat out of the bag. You've been a bit. We've been all day in this vehicle now. You were a skeptic, or certainly I felt like you were a skeptic.
No, I wasn't a skeptic. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to look at it down the other end of the telescope from an operator's perspective. You know, because we hear through misinformation, you know, all kinds of, not horror stories, but, you know, how much is it going to cost me to get on this route to net zero? And I needed to put my mind to rest about, well, hang on a minute, is what we hear right? If not, what is the truth? Or, you know, what is correct information? And importantly, get down to the nitty-gritty of what cost is and understanding how that cost works, but also really, really highlighting the point that it's not for everybody, this, but people are going to have to really, really understand what their wants and needs are, operational requirements to run these trucks.
Zero emission, urban delivery. You're going to get tenders and contracts that will say in the end, you know, it's typical. It's going to be a carrot and stick.
Well, you're right. That's a really, really good point to make, because there are going to be businesses that will be subcontracting to other organisations, that it will be written into their tender requirements or their subcontractor requirements that this to get these contracts, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to conform with. So you know, regardless of what you may want as a vehicle operator, if you want that lucrative contract, you're gonna have to jump on board, aren't you?
Yeah, link that with clean air zones and zero emission zones that we might see, things like that. You know, you will eventually go there anyway. You can either go there screaming and shouting, or you can wait till the very last moment, or you can have this nice incline where you get used to the vehicles, you take on, you know, 5 or 6 of them, that sort of thing, get used to how they operate, etc., and learn by that. I'm not saying to anybody, hey, go and buy 100 of them, but I wouldn't say that. I'd say get 2 or 3 or 4, 5, try them out, and things like that. But certainly things like, you know, national, you know, the health service, going into hospitals, deliveries, all that sort of carry on, into schools. I know certainly a couple of, you know, I've seen local
public sector.
Yeah, they're going to put that in there, mate, and that's it. And the LF is a classic at 19 tons. It's a nice lightweight chassis, and it does the job.
I'm ready for a break. I tell you what though, I mean, here we are. We've got an electric vehicle. Well, I know it's not the ideal environment, but where do we charge it?
Yeah, well, you've hit the nail on the head, mate. This is a game about infrastructure. Electric trucks, be with us. I've got every confidence in DAF and all the other manufacturers to produce the trucks that we need. The problem is, how in God's name do we charge them? And with the greatest respect, public charging is probably the last thing we want. In a lot of cases, it'll be home and depot charging. Well, not home charging, depot charging and hub charging. I think those are the things. But you've also got a massive difference in pricing. You look at some of the things, you're talking probably, you can buy, probably cheapest I know, about 6p, 7p a kilowatt. If you go to some of these public charges, you're talking 70p a kilowatt. Now, 10 times. You never have that on diesel. You don't have diesel at £1.40 plus VAT, and then some at £14. We get like a 10p difference. This is the difference. When people say to me, what's the TCO on the truck? And I say, okay, then what are you charging? How much are you paying for your energy? And this is where the logistics companies, if they're on an industrial estate, they need to get together. They can't do it separately. You can imagine how much it takes.
I know you're saying the secret, though. The secret is going to be depot charging.
Depot and hub charging.
Buying energy at wholesale prices.
Yeah.
But what if we are down the road, and what happens if we do need to charge? There are going to be instances where do we take it?
Yeah,
There's got to be,
yeah.
that's
We don't have
got to happen.
Correct, exactly, that's it. And the problem at the moment is everything's geared up to cars and vans. And for trucks and coaches, which are typical on the motorway services, Project Rapid's supposed to address that in the fact that it's doing cars and vans and is going to bring some infrastructure into the motorway services. They are not looking at trucks and coaches at the moment. And our job in the truck industry is to say, hey, if you're going to dig it up and put some resource in here as an infrastructure, we also want you to put enough capacity in there for trucks as well. But yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It's a conundrum, mate, and but I think it'll get through in the end. But sooner rather than later, I hope.
Let's have a drink. Before you ask, I'll buy this time.
I can't believe that.